Making a small mistake on a small deal
Mhm.
is good
Right.
because you won't make that same mistake on a large deal, which would be a lot more, a bigger percentage of funds.
Welcome to the Expert in You podcast, the show where we have real conversations with established founders, firm owners, and B2B experts selling their expertise as services. We talk about what's happening now inside experienced businesses where positioning, influence, and growth directly affect opportunities and contracts. I'm Ann Carden. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Ann Carden, and I have a really great guest with me today. I have Freddie Rappina with me today from Optifinancial. He is the founder of Opta, and he is also a wealth advisor. So Freddie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Yes, I'm excited to have you here. I love talking money. I love talking about building wealth. And as I help people build wealth in their business, you're doing it in other ways. And so I'm really excited to dive into this with you. He is also an author of the book, Playing the Wealth Game. And we're going to talk about what that is all about as well. So Freddie, before we get started, why don't you just give everyone a little bit of backstory, how you went from being a police officer to becoming a wealth advisor over 10 years ago. So he has been at this actually a very long time, but share that story.
Yeah, around my 10th or 11th year being a police officer, I knew I wanted to get back into finance. And so I started a really small firm and had a financial office right next to my police station. So I was like running back and forth across the street. And working two careers for like 7-8 years there. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And it got the firm got really big really fast. And so once I was able to completely retire from the police department, of course I did. And it's been great. And I like helping people, but also help getting people to understand how wealth is truly built, and that anybody can do it, including a police officer, is I think is important.
Did you hear that? Anyone can do it. And I believe that as well. I think we have so much opportunity. So how did you said get back into finance? So you were in finance before you were a police officer?
Just very briefly before during college, and I knew that's something I wanted to get into eventually. And the opportunity came along, meeting the right people at the right time, it helps.
Were you packing a gun in the daytime and packing the pencil at night, or was it?
Yeah, that's kind of how it was. Because once the shift was over, DC traffic is terrible for those who never lived in DC. So I would go over to my office and work there for a few hours while traffic died down, and then head on back to my house. But just helping police officers, helping firefighters, helping people, go through the retirement process. There was definitely a need for that at the time, and we still love doing that. And also, for the regular market as well. But helping people get to a different level of wealth is what I enjoy. I enjoy watching people's balance sheets grow, awesome. Not just with the investments, but also with their businesses, with their real estate, the whole gamut.
And so that really brings me to, one of the things that makes you very different is you really do work with them on strategies to build several income streams. And I know when we did the pre-call for this, that was one of the things you talked about. You talked about checkers versus chess, and you help people play chess versus checkers. I should say that the other way. So I'm going to let you dive into that just a little bit and talk about that. And then also, the wealth advisor space is so competitive. And I think you told me 300,000 wealth advisors, something along that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that size. So I want to kind of talk about what you do in the market there as well to kind of set yourself apart. So why don't we talk about the checkers and the chess concept that you talk about a lot, and explain what that means exactly.
Yeah, just being around wealthy people, I realized very quickly that, and this is earlier in my career, in my police career, I was 22, 23 years old, that they weren't doing the same things that,
Mhm.
that kind of taught to the middle class about personal finance.
Mhm.
And as I learned more, the more those two different games, in my opinion, just
Mhm.
started to emerge. And but everyone wanted to say right and wrong. This is the right way to do it. This is the wrong way to do it. And I realized over time that it's not a right and wrong thing. It's just two different games, and people
Mhm.
have to choose which game they're going to play and be happy with their choice, and but also understand the limitations of checkers. I don't say checkers is wrong. I don't say people shouldn't play checkers. I just say it's not chess,
Mhm.
and the expectation of you becoming wealthy playing checkers shouldn't be your expectation. You should be able to say I want to live comfortably, and have a retirement and do all that kind of stuff, and that can happen playing checkers. But becoming wealthy is you would have to switch to a different game, and that's chess.
Yeah. So a couple things came up there that I want to
Mhm.
talk about. First of all, how were you around wealthy people? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that happened by chance. It was just being in the right rooms, talking to the right people, getting the right contacts. That happened over time. And people being around people that liked being around a 20 something year old guy who was interested in
Mhm.
learning how to become wealthy. And it's funny, the conversations are just so different.
So different. Yes,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
yeah. What you learn, different, the attitudes towards things like businesses, towards taxes, towards everything, is just very different in those circles.
Do you find that they're more open? I do. I find that they're more open talking about money. Like it's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
It's
butter in the bread.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the middle class, people don't like to talk about
Mhm.
finances. Not much in public safety because everybody knows what everybody's making, right? So it's public
Right.
information. So
Right.
that's not a problem. But people like to share their experience, like to share the way they got there, and there's a lot of different ways of getting there.
Yeah.
But I kind of equated to ice cream. Like there's a lot of flavors, but it's all still ice cream.
Right.
Just which flavor do you like? Which route would you like to go? But the attitude towards taxes was one of the first things that really piqued my interest.
Mhm.
Especially one person I remember very vividly saying, like, he just goes, "I don't pay taxes," and I'm like,
Most of the
"What?"
wealthy do not.
I'm like,
Yes.
"What do you mean you don't pay taxes?" And he just says, "No, I don't pay taxes. I legally don't pay taxes. I don't have to pay taxes."
Mhm.
And just learning all those different strategies, which was flying in the face of a lot of the things I was learning, even going through my certification process or my licensing process.
Right.
So yeah, just understanding that there were two different games, um, but they're available to everybody.
You say that, and it sounds like it should be, but there are still so many people out there that would be listening to this saying, "What are you talking about? What do you mean it's available to
Yeah,
everybody?" Because really, the a lot of the knowledge and information, it is out there. It's not easy to get a hold of for everybody, I think.
yeah, I think it's a function of what you've been told the
Mm-hmm.
whole time. It's checkers is very force fed to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it is. And there's almost like this weird paternalism element to it. And I don't mean that like they're evil and they want to keep all the money themselves or any of that. No, I just think there's this attitude that if they would, it's safer for people
Mm-hmm.
to play checkers and to be a good checkers player
Sure.
than it is for them to get involved with chess, right? And it's good for them that
It's
that
more cookie cutter, so
well,
it's more scalable.
the paternalism element is that it's good for them that we're keeping them down by not promoting the chess strategies. Leave chess to the adults in the room, right?
Mhm.
So,
It's like we're playing chess.
oh,
We're not going to
100%.
teach you how to play
Yes.
chess.
No, it's
Right, right.
teaching checkers and then playing chess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And once you, it doesn't take a whole lot of onion peeling to really find it, right? And people know it instinctively anyway, right? If you, I live in Tampa, right? And if you go down to the boat show here in Tampa Bay and walk up to somebody with a $25 million yacht and go up to that person and say, "Hey, how were you able to achieve this? How were you able to get this $25 million yacht?" That person's not going to respond with, "I fully funded my 401k."
right. Exactly.
Or I bought a well diversified mutual fund, or I bought some insurance product, and now presto, I have a yacht. Like, no, these aren't going to be the answers, right? So people know that, but it's just again the force that. But those companies are turning around and they're playing chess with all of it, right? And growing massive empires and
It's a little hypocritical, don't you think?
I think it just is, right?
Mhm.
I just think it is. But I also think that you have access to it, right? You know the rules of the game. Once you know there's two different games and you decide which one you want to play, if you decide to play checkers, I want you to win checkers. I want
Right.
you to be really good at checkers because nothing sucks more in the United States than being a bad checkers player. You're going to get run over. Um, but I also want you to know the limitations. If you shouldn't be screaming at the moon,
Hmm.
why do the rich keep getting richer when you're playing checkers? They're playing chess. It's like you're not playing the same game at all.
Right.
So once people understand that, it gets a little bit easier for them.
So a couple of things. How, first of all, how would you define wealth? Because it is thrown around out there a lot, and I think
Hmm.
everybody has a different definition of it. So how would you define wealth, or how would you help a client understand
I
wealth?
would say once you're able to do what you want with whom you want, whenever you want,
So it's not a number.
I don't think it's a number. No,
More
I think
of a
everybody's a little bit,
it's
yeah,
more
I
of a
think,
lifestyle or
yeah,
I.
more of a lifestyle. Once people are able to do those things and have more of the freedom of choice,
Mhm.
I think that's what's wealthy. Now that could be very different, look very different for a lot of different people. But I think when you don't have those elements, it's hard to say that, you are wealthy, right? So,
Right.
um, but yeah, no, but these things are available. Like the strategies are available. The scale will be different, right? So it's a matter of scale, especially with chess. You may not be able to play chess on the same level as like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or
Mhm.
one of these guys, right? No, but you're able to play the game and use the same strategies just on a different level, different scale.
Can you give an idea of a particular strategy that you would help someone with and kind of walk through that so people have more of an idea?
Well, I'll do that explaining the difference between like a core difference between a checkers player and a chess player. Okay,
Mhm.
the biggest thing, in my opinion, that's going to differentiate somebody between the two games is going to be their attitude towards debt.
Mhm.
If you're going to play checkers, I want you to be out of debt, no debt, pay off
Right.
everything, pay off your house, pay off absolutely everything,
Mhm.
and allow compound interest to do its thing, but also understand the limitations of that. Right? If you're going to play chess, you want to be in as much debt as possible. And when I'm using debt in this context, I don't mean like running up your credit card. I mean like buying assets that are going
Investment.
to
Yes.
produce income, such as real estate, such as businesses, such as things that are going to increase your balance sheet over time, right?
Right.
Or could it be done a lot faster? Compound interest, in my opinion, and this is something I say that's semi-controversial, is one of the most oversold concepts to the middle class. Oversold.
Well, if you've been in the stock market for any length of time, you will see it's kind of like gambling. You don't really
Well,
that far
a
ahead.
time in the market is real, right? And compound interest is real. It's math. I'm not going to argue with math. But the problem, in my opinion, is that it doesn't work the way people wish it did. All right. And the problem is time.
Right.
People just don't live long enough for compound interest to save the day, right? Unless you started out with a whole boatload of money in the beginning of the time period, it just takes too long. In my book, I joke and I say, if you lived 900 years like Yoda lived in Star Wars, then compound interest would work out great, right? Like by your 400th year, you're good. But here in this galaxy, in this lifetime, where you only have 72 summers, it just takes too long for for compound interest to work to get to that level where people are going to be able to take that income stream and live the lifestyle that they want. I call when people try it, and by the time they finally get there, usually, either their life expectancy is over or they're not physically able to enjoy it. And I call that, unfortunately, the golden wheelchair plan. And a lot of people are on that plan. So it's just understanding that the two different games, and expectations. But if you're going to play chess, you can screw chess up too. Like there's no like.
It's a risk, right?
In my opinion, there's risks on both games. Right. It's not like checkers has no risk. But if you're going to play chess, you need to play chess well, because I said the attitude towards debt is going to be very important, but there's debt capacity as well. Like, well, this is about how much you can deal with. Right. Without over leveraging. And then there also is debt tolerance within that too, where it may not be the full amount of debt capacity that someone's able to stomach and sleep well at night, right, knowing that
you've got the whole nervous system going on too, right?
Right.
Yeah, so, you don't want to be losing sleep at night.
So that's a big part of it too, and it's helping the client understand where those barriers are, either in the factual numbers world and also in their heart, right? So, right. But I enjoy going through that process with people, and we manage assets, we manage accounts, we manage money, and that's the core of our business. But in my opinion, that by itself will not get you there. It's all the other stuff that is ancillary to the accounts that really help build.
How many people do you have on your team in your office, Freddie? How many other
we have 4 here. Okay. We're a boutique firm. I don't want to have a lot of advisors that are just selling crap and talking people into stuff that is not in their best interest. So we decided to have a small team, and our team members know that their job is to work in the best interests of their clients at all times. And, and it works out well for us. And with the clients, it's great because we pick up the phone when they call, right? It's not like a phone tree or anything like that. And we call them back if we're not available right then. So it's much more of a personal relationship than the big wirehouses or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that totally resonates with me, because a lot of people do think the bigger the firm, the better. But I have just not always found that to be true. And it's one of the reasons why I run my business the way I do, because I want that high touch. I want that personalization. And I think we're going to see even more and more of that too. And especially with AI and a lot of things coming out that are kind of they're breaking trust in a lot of industries, and there are a lot of industries that I think are struggling because of AI. And so I think what you're doing, what I'm doing, is going to be even more important and more relevant, that really human element. I don't know about you, but I'm already over a lot of automation. When you call and you can't get a person, when you get rerouted 50 times, and people are, and those are all real things. So if somebody's got my money and I'm calling them, they're managing me. I want to make sure I get to talk to them. And I'm sure most people would feel that way as well.
Yeah. It's, I tell people, like, if you need me, just rub the Calendly link and I appear on your screen like a genie. Like, it's just, and, of course, if I'm in the area or whatever, it's more belly to belly. But especially now with the video conferencing like we're on right now, it's much easier to have a personal relationship with people that are maybe not in your arm's reach of your locale, which is great now, because we can service people from all across the United States, which was harder to do.
I was just going to ask you if you
even
were
like 6 years ago. Sure, it was harder.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are licensed that you can work in any state.
We can work in any state. Yes.
That's cool. One thing about having a boutique company and firm as well is you can do those kinds of things anytime you want. You can add, you can pivot, there's so many, you don't have to wait for everybody to get on board, and you can just make those strategic shifts that you need to in your own business for it to be successful. And I think a lot of times you can stay more cutting edge. In my opinion, I think you can stay on top of things much easier. I have always found that.
And you can lower your fees. We pride ourselves in having as low a fee as possible, because we are able to leverage all the technology. So we pass that savings on to the clients, so to create less drag on their portfolios by having a good fee. This is like, everybody's in business, right? Can't be zero, but we don't need to have the 1,000-foot shiny office anymore, right? So so we can pass that savings on to the clients.
Right. So how do you separate yourself and really differentiate yourself in the midst of 300,000 wealth advisors that are out there? What do you do?
Well, we are definitely a firm that understands that the accounts by themselves are just a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie. So when somebody comes a client of ours, we kind of ask them, okay, you have X amount of dollars. This is great, right? You saved a lot of money over time. How are we going to build income? What are you interested in? Are you interested in real estate? Are you interested in business ownership? What are you interested in to create income for yourself? Because the accounts, that is more like, that's your leverage piece, where you're able to go to a lender and say, look how much money I have, but I want to buy this business, or I want to buy this piece of real estate. I need a loan to purchase that, and I'm going to pay you back with the income that asset creates. And we are just way more open to those types of conversations than a lot of other financial advisors, wealth advisors, whatever you want to call us, licensed fiduciaries, because that's what we want people to do.
Right.
And when they need money out of the accounts to do that, let's say for a down payment on a piece of real estate, we are happy to give it to them to do it, even though that's lowering our assets under management. But we don't see it as a bad thing, because we're helping that person build more wealth, because the asset is going to bring more income to that family, and they're going to grow over time with us. So,
right. I mean, it's also going to bring it in the long game. It's going to bring more to your company.
Yes. Yeah. We see a very long game to that. And of course, being an independent firm, we don't have to, we're not listening to anybody else, right? So we don't have quotas or any of that other stuff that a lot of these other firms have, unfortunately. And so we get to do, in my opinion, do its best in interest of the clients at all times. And sometimes that is taking money out of the accounts that we're managing to purchase those assets. And just going over everything with them, like, okay, does this make sense? Does buying this business make sense for you? Does buying this piece of real estate make sense for you? It's not just, oh, which investment, which mutual fund or ETF or what stock or whatever is going to do a little bit better than the other one. That's part of it too, and that's going to help get a bigger, better loan.
A lot of the bigger companies do, though. That's really all they do. Yeah.
Yes. So understanding how to leverage is very important if you're going to play checks. If you're going to play checkers,
that's not going to matter.
Forget everything I just said. So that is more about saving diligently and a lot of money. You need to save a ton of money for checkers to work. And unfortunately, people are finding that out the hard way right now because they're trying to retire on just a 401k with,
right.
Let's say even if they saved a boatload of money into that thing, like let's say it's $1 million, it's still difficult to take water out of that well to enjoy yourself. Well, during your like 50s, 60s, 70s, when you're able to still do things and not risk running the well dry later. So, it takes and if you don't have if you don't have a significant amount of money in those accounts, it's really difficult to retire. And unfortunately, it's just a fact of life right now.
Yeah, it is. One of the things I've always said, and one of the reasons why I love business so much, I built and sold a lot of businesses. And so I love it because I've always said, look, if you're going to build wealth or you're going to build a real financial future, business is the way to go. I mean, it's one of the ways to go. But to me, it's one of the best ways to go because it's not capped. Sky's the limit. You can expand. You can do whatever you want with that. And I just think and you also talked about mergers and acquisitions, and that is part of one of the strategies that you have, buying businesses. So I want to talk about that just a little bit because how do you see that changes the person's portfolio? Maybe they don't really want to run a business, but they want the fruits of a business. So can you talk through that just a little bit?
Sure. If somebody has the resources to be able to get a loan to purchase a business, let's say it's already standing, it's already there, we know what the income is roughly going to look like, then it's going to help them enjoy money now. And that, in my opinion, is very important and something that's kind of not talked about enough in financial planning, wealth planning, whatever you want to call it. Enjoy this money, enjoy money now, enjoy your time now. Like, people ask me how much money I spend on my son's travel baseball and my daughter's travel cheer competitions. And I tell them, I don't know. I don't care because the income from the real estate, from business, from all these things is funding it. And I get to enjoy it now. I'm not sitting in account. It's not just sitting in an account. And I'm not watching financial grass grow for 30 years before I'm able to enjoy the money. So buying businesses or buying real estate, we're talking about business right now, are going to develop income now. Some of that money of course, needs to service the loan. The other money goes in your pocket and you get to enjoy it. So I think that mindset shift on, oh, wait, I can spend money. I can go enjoy myself. Once you start buying businesses, like, those worlds start opening up when you have a job and you need to just save money all the time. Those doors kind of remain closed, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Do you mind sharing a little bit about what your strategy for yourself is? Like, what kind of portfolio do you have, or
I personally, of course, I love my business.
I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about what different entities you have. Yeah.
So I like real estate, and I like businesses. Buying semi-absentee or absentee businesses. Absentees, of course, awesome, harder to find, and but finding good businesses that are going to run, and that you just
And then
need
do you
to
flip them? Do you
just
flip them at all, or do you hang
not
on
just
to
hold.
them? Or
No, just hold for me.
hmm
Other people might want to flip, and that's
hmm
fine. Real estate, purchasing either single families or multifamilies
hmm
in different parts of the country that are going to have good cash flow. That's very important as well. But it's kind of like a flywheel, right? So it's like money buys the money you make. It maybe
right, and then
buys
it
the
buys
business,
something
and
else.
then the money you make from the business buys the real estate, and the real
Right.
estate money goes in your pocket, and you actually get to enjoy life now. Or you could do that the other way around too. But it's definitely like a little bit more of a flywheel scenario, because
hmm
you just can't save enough, in my opinion.
No,
It's
you
just
can't.
even with a small business or a
Yeah.
successful small business, it is
hmm
really difficult to just have that be able
Yeah.
to manifest what you want, right?
Why do
So
you think
it's
I've sold five? There's a lot to be, when you build it and then you sell it, it's a big play. I mean, it can be a big play for your financial future. And enough people don't think about that. And I didn't at first when I got into business. I was doing it because, it's what I wanted to do and all of that. But I quickly realized the opportunity there to do something more with it and kind of build a financial future. If somebody was just getting started, Freddie, and they're really thinking about, okay, what would be the best direction to go, and maybe they have limited funds. I know, Grant Cardone is out there talking about multifamily, but you have to have money for that, right? You have to have assets and you have to have money to get started in something like that. So I don't think that is an easy play for most people. What would be
Mhm.
something that you could direct them to that would be really, could be acquired or would be a play for them?
When we say just starting out, where are we starting? We're starting like at 20 something years old, have your first job, blah, blah, all that.
No, I mean,
Or we're
let's
like
say,
40 years old, have a bunch
yeah,
of
let's
money
say you're
and
somebody 30-ish and
okay.
they maybe have a home and they, but they're still kind of in really the start of their life and they want to start building their wealth. And,
That's a very typical client for us, but a new
I'm
client
sure it is.
especially.
Yeah.
So I kind of use a doctor for that example, right? A doctor who's saved a lot of money,
Mhm.
into these accounts, did everything that they told him to do, and is playing checkers really well, but they're saying, I don't feel wealthy. Like when I was a 21-year-old resident doctor on the midnight shift, I thought once I was at this level, making $400,000, whatever the number is, a year,
Mhm.
making a lot of money a year, that I'd be living the lifestyle that I want, and I don't feel like that's happening. And the problem is that they haven't switched over the chess yet, and so we have to explain, okay, this is what you're doing is a great checkers game, but to have that kind of lifestyle, what do we want to get into, right? What are you comfortable with? And if the answer is all no, like I don't want to own a business, I don't want to buy real estate, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Well, then there's nothing left. Go just continue doing what you're doing
Right.
and
Right.
play a good game of checkers. But when one of those things they are interested in,
Mhm.
then it's more exploring, okay, what are we looking at for a business? Are we looking at a franchise deal? Are we looking at starting your own thing? Are we looking at buying something that's already existing? All those types of elements to your first buy. And the first one's always the hardest. The first, and I tell people the first one usually sucks. Like anything, the first piece of real estate you buy, or
Like
the first,
anything else you do, you have to learn and you have to
yeah.
grow and
So making a small mistake on a small deal
Mhm.
is good,
Right.
because you won't make that same mistake on a large deal, which would be a lot more, a bigger percentage of funds. So, but yeah, just getting the experience, getting kind of get your foot in the water, is the most important step. There's a business adage that you may have heard, like the hardest belt to get in karate is not the black belt, it's the white belt, because
Yeah, we always say the hardest thing to get into business is your first 100,000. I mean, you have to, that's like the first milestone, right?
Yep,
That's
you got to show up. You got to actually
yeah.
start. So it's just getting people to be comfortable with that. And then, once they get going and they realize, oh, it's not this mystical gauntlet of things that they have to surpass to be able to achieve the kind of wealth that they wanted. They just needed to actually do something different, because if you keep doing the same things, you're going to get those results. And people, they expect uncommon things without doing uncommon things. Like
right. You can't do the same old thing and expect different results. It does not work. Yeah.
No, if you can't have uncommon things being common, and common is what we see all the time. And people say that a lot in meetings, though. I get a little pushback from clients like, well, don't most people do this? I'm like, yeah, that's what most people do.
That's exactly why they are where they are, right?
Right. That's exactly what most people do. So if you want to be different, you gotta be different.
There's like safety in numbers, right? Let's all just settle.
That's hard for me to wrap my head around, but I can understand it, right? So,
I see it with business all the time. I see people, I'm like, why would you want to be running your business and not be trying to make as much money as you can and doing something with that? Yeah, I don't really get it. Like, if you're just going to do it to run it to get an income, why not just go work for somebody and not have all the headache and all the stress, and everything that goes with running a business? Like, I don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah, when you're a startup business, or you're just starting out with business, you'll sleep like a baby. You'll wake up every 3 hours and cry.
I have not heard that one. That's awesome.
I heard that somewhere. I can't take credit for it, but I heard
so
I'm like,
good.
That is so true.
That is so true. That's funny. I don't know. I started my first business 30 something years ago, so I probably did that. I don't remember, but there are a lot of, I always say blood, sweat, and tears. So if somebody, so how many income streams basically do you suggest, or do you try to move people towards? Or if they're really going to build wealth, let's really create a wealth plan. What does that look like?
I don't know if it's amount of income streams. I think it's more a function of, can you duplicate what you did to be able to make the revenue, right, that you wanted to.
Because a lot of people say six.
Yeah, I mean, but if there's 6 different things, that might encompass all the hours of your life. So there's a time issue to this too. Whereas if you're doing the same thing 6 times, it might be easier for you. So if you had 6 of the same business, right, you're able to buy this business in this town and it worked out really well, and you can buy the same type of business in another town,
like a franchise. Where you very well.
Just a chain.
They buy multiple locations and
or in real estate, of course, like that's much more easy, right? Buy a similar rental for a similar price in a similar area, all that you're able, or buy a multifamily and keep moving the game up. Yeah. I think it's more about those types of strategies. Once you find something that works, I think one problem with entrepreneurs is like they'll just shoot themselves in the foot.
They're all over the place.
Yeah. Well, they're like, this is working. I'm going to change everything. Like, whoa.
Right.
Wait, pump brakes. Like, why are we changing stuff? This is working great. How about we continue doing this? And how about we do more of this?
Right.
It's like they could just get bored.
So yes, entrepreneurs do that a lot. They're chasing a lot of rabbits. You can't catch any rabbits if you're chasing a lot of them. And I think a lot of it is out of boredom. One of the strategies that I use with businesses is, okay, what's your core business? And let's see if we can build off of that so that they're natural feeders. And you're not trying to run multiple businesses. So one business, I actually did this with my agency. so I have my advisory service, and then I also have my agency. So if my clients need a book, or they need a podcast, or they need whatever, I have a team and I have an agency that we can produce all of those things. But it's core to my business. I'm already wanting them to do those things, so why send them somewhere else? So that's how it spun off. And this is what I try to teach people in their business: is build from your core, and don't try to do all these separate businesses that you've got to market them all separately, and you've got to do everything. And I've done that for years in my businesses, where I built multiple businesses inside of one, or with that core business. And it's such a, in my opinion, an easier strategy, because you're not all over the place, and they are natural feeders. So it sounds like you kind of do the same thing, duplicate, and it's a little different, but
if you're able to have a business where you can acquire the ancillary businesses to your business, that's going to probably work out well.
Yeah.
It's when you have like totally different things going on all over the place. And again, people usually start out in this game because they want freedom and time, and then they and then they just steal it from themselves by trying to have too many coals in the fire.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I always see too, especially in business, where people don't maximize the business they're in. They're out looking for the next thing, because maybe, this business they feel like is plateaued a little bit or whatever, or they get bored. Instead of maximizing what they have and then spinning off, a lot of times they're chasing something before this is even really, they've really reached their opportunity. And I think that keeps a lot of people on a hamster wheel too. But yeah, to your point, don't we get in business and to run our own business, not just to build wealth and build financial freedom, but to have freedom to live the life and to enjoy the money?
Yeah, and I think real estate is the nice complement to the businesses. So the businesses make the money buys the real estate, and the real estate funds go more towards the income for the person, and it works out very well tax wise as well. So it's just getting that system down, but starting it is definitely the hardest part for anybody. Just getting over the mindset, especially people who've been taught checkers their entire lives. They have
Which
parents
really
that are checkers players.
Society that's the way we all grew up, right?
Yeah, it's sometimes the one spouse has a chess mindset, and the other spouse has a checkers mindset, and there can be some hurdles there. And that's definitely one of the harder things to overcome for people, is like, just not taking financial advice from people who love you.
So who makes a good client for you, Freddie, when you're looking for clients, when you're acquiring clients? Like, what are you looking for?
People who have accumulated a good amount of assets. Again, we do manage assets. That's the core business, and want to take that next step, or they are taking those next steps, and they're pulling an anchor for a financial advisor who's telling them not to buy more businesses or buy real estate or whatever, and just projecting their fears kind of on their client because they're a checkers player themselves, right? So either having the relationship with us where we're going to try to get you into those things responsibly. And when it's not right for you, we're going to tell you that too. But people have to have a good foothold first. People have to have the assets where they're able to, be able to even get the loans. It's not like you can just have $0 in your pocket, walk into a bank and say, I want to start a business. It's like, that's not going to work. Or I want to buy a real estate because I learned that real estate's a great way to build wealth. Like, no one's giving you a loan for that.
Right.
So,
they only give you a loan when you don't need the money. So there's that, everyone. You can always get loans when you don't need them. It's when you need them that you can't get them.
Yeah. So it's really about just going through the process with the client and having them understand what they want. What do they
Is there a
want out of this
certain
deal?
age that you find that your firm does more of? We kind of talked about the 30-year-old something, but is there more of an age that you tend to draw or do it?
Um, I don't want to say there's an age. There's definitely more of like you can't have $10, right? So it's got
Mhm.
so our clients they're usually at 1 million already,
Mhm.
and it's like their doctor that saved a whole lot of money,
Right.
and it's like why am I not feeling it? Why do I feel like I'm still working for for a paycheck or for
Mhm.
income? And why do I feel like I can't take the vacation I want? I can't, in my case, of course, afford all the baseball training and the cheerleading training for my kids.
How old are your
And
kids? I just have to cut in.
oh yeah, they're 15 and 13.
I
So
love that. Okay,
yeah, it's a
keep
great
going, keep
age.
going. That's just
So
asking a
yeah,
mom.
it's getting them to understand like, hey, no, this is possible. You have
Mhm.
saved a lot of money. You have a foothold. Now let's explore different opportunities and
Mhm.
see what you're going to be comfortable with because there's no straight blueprint for this.
Right.
And kind of go from there, right? And
Mhm.
see what they want to do. Though we really enjoy working with those types of clients because it's fun for us. We get to
Mhm.
experience it with our clients. This the building process because it's not just about hey, give us money. We're going to invest it in the market. We're going to send you a statement every few months, and that's it, right? And you're one thing I really just don't like hearing financial advisors or wealth advisors say is, "Don't worry, you're in it for the long haul."
Mm.
You hear that a lot,
That is
and
your philosophy is, and you said that at the very beginning of the show. Your philosophy is, look, you can't live that long, right?
no,
Yeah,
but also know who's not in it for the long haul. Absolutely, everybody you give your money to is not in it for the long haul. The banks are not
that
in it for the long haul. The investment
that's
companies are
you.
not in it for the long haul. The
Mhm.
insurance companies are not in it for the long haul. Nobody's in it for the
Do
long
as I
haul
say, don't
except
do as
you.
I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just
Right,
they're
right.
looking to build their empires now, and so should you.
Yeah, no, this is so good. How do you get your clients, and are most of them local, or do you have them all over?
All over, mostly referral.
Uh huh.
Yeah, because when you have the reputation of this wealth advisor is different. It doesn't
Hmm.
isn't just saying the same old. Not not just spouting checkers all the time. And we do have checkers clients, and and they're happy playing checkers, and we want them to continue playing checkers. But it's more the chess personality that's tired of hearing their financial advisor just kind of always steering them towards checkers strategies.
Hmm.
We take on that client very easily.
Freddie, you're amazing. I just have to say, I was so impressed the first time we spoke, and I love your mindset around everything, and I love how you're doing things differently in your firm. And everybody is not cut from the same cloth, and you're living it. You're also doing it in your own life, and you're living those strategies. And I think you're amazing, and I think people need to know that there are people. I've actually had a lot of so-called wealth advisors on my show over the years. I mean, I'm in my 6th year of podcasting, and I have to say, I hear from most of them one strategy, like
Hmm.
might be life insurance, or it might be I'm not. I haven't really. I was trying to think back after we first talked. Have I had anybody that's talked about all the things that you're talking about, and it really aligns with me and how I do things and how I talk about doing things. So I was really excited to have you on and share. And yeah, you're definitely different in your market. I will say that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's our goal. Our goal is to
Yeah,
help our clients grow, and you're just not gonna get there doing
yeah.
the same things. Like it's just not gonna happen, in my opinion. So
So what's the dream for your business? So, I always love to know what is the dream for somebody's business, because you said, I want to stay boutique. We want to really stay personal. So does that mean you only want to grow to a certain level with a certain amount of clients? Well, what does that look like for you? I love for people to hear other people's dreams.
We do want to build a team, but we want advisors that are always going to work in the best interest of their clients,
Mm-hmm.
and including chess strategies,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to help more people. We usually get the advisors that are sick of being told what to sell, when to sell it, and all that kind of stuff. So building the team that way, and just being able to bring on more clients. The more clients we have, it's easier to attract those types of advisors, right? So yeah, it's really just a building process like anything else. But we always want to have the personal relationship with our clients,
Right.
so it's
So
not.
do you have do you have anybody that does like M&A, or is everybody on your team, they're all financial advisors?
Oh
And
yeah,
are you
they're
looking to
on my
maybe,
team. They're all.
so are you looking to maybe expand out that way, where you bring other people into the fold that don't do what you do, but they have those skill sets and that expertise? Is that a,
Always looking at options, but we also never want to stray away from our core mission
sure.
of being the best wealth advisors we can. Because in the police world, right, you can't be the best homicide detective and the best SWAT officer
Right.
either, right? So they're
Right.
even though they're both really good police officers, their skill sets are completely different. So we want to make sure that we're always helping the client, achieve a better lifestyle.
So what would a client that's happy with you say about you?
Oh, we answer the phone. That's like our number one
Really?
thing. Yeah, that's like the number one
That's
thing. Like
easy.
I always
That's
think it's the
easy.
accounts, right? Like,
Wow.
oh, look how great our accounts doing, but no, it's more of the personal relationship that and helping them get over the hurdles, the mental hurdles usually of like, oh, I didn't think I would ever be able to buy a business, and now I have that, and I'm a dentist, but I own this car wash, and it's doing great, and I don't have to spend more hours than I want to with my practice because the car wash is making so much, or this piece of real estate's bringing in the extra, so I have more time with my kids. It's all that stuff that we really enjoy hearing.
Yeah.
But again, it's that more personal relationship that I feel like is just needed in the marketplace.
What's one thing you still want to do in your business that you haven't done yet? Kind of a goal that you're maybe striving towards.
Uh, I really want to get the message out. That's like I really want. I don't. I don't necessarily need all the rich and fame thing, or the see my face on a reel every three scrolls or anything like that. But I do want the checkers and chess message to be. I would love for that to be like just part of American vernacular when it comes to finance. Like, oh, I'm a checkers player, or no, I'm a chess player. I would love for that, because that would mean everybody understands that there are two games, and they have made a choice, and they're happy with their choice.
So good. So good. We'll just end on that, because I think that's super, super powerful. If there's anything else you want to say, but you can reach out to Freddie. We'll put all of his information in the show notes. He's on LinkedIn, which I think is where I came across him. I don't know. I come across a lot of my podcast guests on LinkedIn and invite them on the show. Anyone that stands out to me that's doing just really different things and amazing work. And Freddie, you stood out to me. With everything that you're doing, and I just love it, and I think it's so needed. It is so needed, because there's more money to go around than any one person could ever spend, but most people are not getting it. And what's the reason for that? They don't know how. They just don't. So people like Freddie are out there and making a difference. And thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you. I really appreciate having me on the show.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you leave a review. Also, subscribe to the show and share it. And reach out to Freddie if you are looking for someone who wants to take you in a different direction for building your wealth and financial future, and really that freedom that we all aspire to have with our finances. So if you need help elevating your business, really taking it to new levels, playing at the top of your market, being positioned in the market as the go-to in your industry or in your field, I would love to have a conversation with you to show you how we could elevate you and your business, and not just visibility, but actually make you a big player in your market. Then reach out to me and book a call at ancarden.com. Thanks again for being here. God bless you.
The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Although I share strategies, ideas, and success stories based on real experiences, results are never guaranteed. Every business is unique, and outcomes depend on individual effort, market conditions, and many other factors. By listening, you agree that I and my guests are not responsible for your results or actions based on the content shared.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you're as excited as I am about scaling up your influence, business, and bank account, then I have just the thing for you. But first, make sure you subscribe to the show. Second, make sure you share it with someone you care about, because sharing is caring. And third, head on over to join me in my next free virtual exclusive workshop, where we'll explore proven strategies to boost your business and maximize your potential. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're looking to take your business to the next level, my workshops are designed for you. So head on over to expertinyouworkshop.com to reserve your spot and get ready to transform your expertise into extraordinary success. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and helping you achieve incredible growth. Until next time, make sure you're always seeking the expert in you, and God bless. Have an amazing day.